Hey, Renee, I'm back. As I said before, in a few videos now, back. February is Black History Month, and that means it's Blackathon Readathon, but it's also actually Black Authors Readathon. So this video challenge is not, as the other two were, in a collaboration or in uh, in context to Blackathon. This is in context to Black Authors Readathon. Black Office Readathon is hosted as a lot of readathons for many people. One of them being Steph Reed's Romance. I'll link her down below. I'll also link the others down below. Steph Reed's Romance was where I found out about this readathon. And so the point of Black Office Readathon is kind of simply to read books by Black authors. And the point, like the extra point, well, the point is to read Black authors that have joy. So not like to read the trauma books, but like to read the happy books by Black authors. And the hosts have made a bingo chart and like a suggestion of, well, bingo chart prompts. Have they done both? No, they haven't. They've made some prompts that you can use if you want, but you don't have to. And those prompts are based around romance, though you don't have to read romance to be part of the Black Authors Readathon. Kind of funny because, like, I feel like this is a good place to put this. This words again. Fun facts. So last year I had an idea to like read only romance during February because of Valentine's. I got through a few, but then I kind of got tired. This year I hadn't planned to read only romance, but that's kind of what I've been doing. Well, not only, but mostly like 98% of what I read this month is romance. So kind of fun. But yeah, so as you can see from the title, this is a review. The challenge from Black Office Readathon wasn't, in my mind anyway, it wasn't like very specific. It was just kind of highlight a new to you offer, and I decided to do it in a readathon, in a review. I actually already highlighted this offer. Well, this book also slightly earlier this week. I'll link that down below because I did a fan cast for this book. But yeah, I decided I also wanted to review it. And the book, as you already know from the title, is The Boyfriend Project by Farah Rochon. Rochon? No, I think Rochon. Something like that. There's so many ways you can pronounce all letters, so it's kind of difficult. But yeah, anyway. So as with usual, I don't really like to follow videos in my reviews, so this is gonna be a bit all over the place. But yeah, let's start with the cover. Isn't just the cover like the first thing you see often with books? It's the cover, and it's just so beautiful. I love blue, so this cover really resonated with me. I also liked. I also liked how it has some hearts here. Actually, didn't see that before now, but it's quite cute. And then she has a cell phone on her. He also. I'm not quite sure. I mean, yes, they both work like it's an office romance. They both work and meet in IT. I suppose, yeah, Samaya, she works on an app. She wants to make an app. But Daniel, I'm not sure why he's holding a phone. Maybe because stuff happens. I mean, in a theory, maybe you should like be in front of computers still. Um, and yeah, and then it's sorry, it's blurred by Jasmine Guillory, which also I really like as well. And at the back, it's also blurred by Abby Jimenez. I read recently, really enjoyed her book. And Susan Brockman and Kavanagh Jackson. Kavanagh Jackson I've heard about. I've not heard of Susanna Brockman, but you know, when a book is blurbed at the front and at the back by like 3 people at the back and 1 at the front, you kind of think like, okay, this book has to be good. Though, yeah, sadly, I have picked up books where it's blurbed all over, both the back and the front, or like blurb a lot, and I still don't like it. So blurb aren't guaranteed that you like it, but they are kind of an indication that at least it's not awful, or at least some people liked it. But then again, I don't really think there's one book out there in the world that everybody hates. I don't really think that's. I don't really think that book exists. But yeah, tangent. And then also you also have a blurbs on the first page you open is lots of blurbs, so it kind of gives you a good impression just by that. And also, the reason I picked up this book, I saw it mentioned like all over. I saw it mentioned on Booksnet. I'm pretty sure I might be wrong here, Steph. If you see this, sorry, but I think Steph was Stephanie's. Well, Stephanie from Steph Reads Romance. I think she talked about this book and said how good it was. I do know anyway that I've seen it on BookTube and people really enjoy it. And yeah, so like I thought like, that sounds cool, and so I ordered it and bought it. And so yeah, as I've been lately on a romance kick, I picked this up last week. Yeah, actually last week. Actually, like finished this and read this last weekend for Valentine's weekend. Kind of wanted to read some romance, and yeah, I picked up. Was it older? Doesn't matter that much. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so I picked it up, and it's just a great read. Like you have like you have an idea that's going to be great, but it turns out great. It's not like one of those books that has a good premise and good vibes, but then it's bad. No, well, I suppose. Why am I saying this? I mean, why would I do a review of a book I don't like? Well, I suppose I could do a rant review, but yeah. Anyway, I loved this book. Loved this book. I suppose you might ask yourself, is this going to be spoilers here? No, I think I'm gonna do it spoiler free because I don't really think I need that to like talk about it in a good way. But yeah, so the starting like the premise of it is that in the first chapter, this is the first chapter, so it's not spoilers at all. But in the first chapter, Samaya, one of the protagonists, she's getting ready to go on a date. She's with her sister at her house, at her own house with her sister, and she's finding some clothes to wear while her sister is on Twitter, just looking at different Twitter stuff. And then her sister starts reading out loud a hilarious but awful Twitter thread about someone on an awful date. So Maya starts to think, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. And then something clicks, and the person that's on a date is on a date with her boyfriend, or the person she's dating. So it's like, this cannot be right. But like everything that the tweeter is talking about fits. So it's like, okay, this is not cool. So she ends up. First, she thinks, okay, I'm just gonna ignore it, and then like, okay, you know what? No, I'm gonna go down and confront him because not only is this guy on a date hours before he's supposed to be on a date with her, and they're supposed to be monogamous. They're supposed to be monog. They're supposed to be just with those two. They're not in an open relationship. So not only is it on a date hours before he's on a date with her, he's using the reservation she made, but he said like, no, we can't use this reservation because I have to work. And the restaurant is just a few streets close to her house, so it's just wrong on all the levels. So she goes down to the restaurant, confronts him, and during this confronting, a third woman comes and says like, this is not cool. So yeah, the situation is that three women have been dating the same man without knowing it, and he's just been free timing them. Not two timing. Is free timing a word? Oh, let's call it free timing. But yeah, he's been dating them all on a down low or like in secret. So yeah. So they have this whole show. They were like, no, this is not cool at all. Of course, some people around the restaurant started tweeting about this as well. This goes viral. Oh yeah, so Samaya and London and Taylor, which is the other names of the other two women. It feels a bit weird. Well, it is women. It's not girls. Ladies, let's call them ladies. These three ladies, Samaya, her, Taylor, and London, they end up going to Smaya's and kind of like drinking vodka and just kind of complaining about boys because, well, men, because they're all useless. And they form this bond and friendship over this situation, and they end up deciding to meet every week, and also end up deciding to have this boyfriend project where they don't date anyone for half a year and instead focus on themselves. So that they try to find some sorry, find some project for himself. So Maya decides to kind of to develop her app she's been thinking about doing for a long time. London wants to get a hobby, and Taylor wants to get her job really off the ground. She's a personal trainer, but she's still like in her early days. And so this is mainly a story about Smaya, about her finding love with Daniel from her work, even though like she's not supposed to dating in this time, in this period. But it's also about her friendship with London and Taylor and how it grows. But it's also about Smaya and her sister that's pregnant, and Smaya's soon becoming an aunt. So it's about all these different plot lines. But it's also a book. Uh, it's also it's also a story told from multiple point of view. It's told from both Samaya and Daniel. So it switches every two chapters. Well, it's not just every two or like every other chapter in a way. Like sometimes two chapters on one person and sometimes it's every other. But anyway, it switches. And so Daniel, in case you want to know about him, he's new at the office where Samaya works. And from the very beginning, something off, something like not very right. And I really enjoy like how from the beginning, like even though Daniel it's his head, but he doesn't really say what it's going on. He just give hints of the stuff. And then in chapter 3 or 4, you realize, oh, this is Delio. I'm not gonna say what it is, but yeah, it's quite a fun little twist that like kind of becomes a big thing through the book. And yeah, I really really enjoy that twist to the story. I'm just gonna say it adds a different layer to the story. It's kind of a mystery aspect to the story. Yeah, let's say like that. A mystery. But it's also about Daniel. Like Daniel, he soon realized that he's attracted to Samaya, but it can't be with her because issues surrounding this mystery stuff. Samaya can't be with him because of a project, so it's this mutual attraction, yet they can't be with each other. So it's kind of like first they start talking, having lunch, and then start like kind of becoming friends, and then quickly they want to kiss, but they kiss also, but like both of them say like can't do this. But yeah, stuff still starts to happen with them too, and it's just so lovely how it develops with them. I would say it develops slow, but in like very really cute and fun way. And yeah, I love both of these characters, but I also love how I would say like more or less every character in this book kind of gets the time to shine. Like none of the characters feels flat or boring; they all feel real and good. And yeah, it's just a overall really, really good book. It's both, as I said, slightly mysterious, romantic, fun, good sex scenes. Well, I'm not sure how good they are because I'm not gonna go into that at the moment, but I think they are good. Um, they seem good. And then, uh, and then, um, and then and there's also this fun family aspects, friendship aspects, and the plot like overall of like Samaya trying to develop her app and getting her confidence that way and like focusing on that. It's just so good. Like this, I would say like there's nothing to complain about this book. And it's also it's a bit about racism, a bit about how coworkers aren't always that good, and yeah, there's so many aspects to this book. It's just so good. Also, it's been picked up to be a movie. Yay! So that's quite fun. Uh, and yeah, this is actually also the first in our companion series, so it's supposed to be 3 books at uh, at least in my head. I think there's supposed to be 3 books. This one and then the next one, focusing on Taylor, comes out this fall, August. Comes out this year. I think it's also August. Might be wrong on it, but it comes out this year anyway. It's supposed to be coming out this year, and then next year there's the one about London. So yeah, I can't wait to read the other books. Also, in case you were curious, this is not her debut book, but it's kind of like Farah Roshan's kind of breakthrough book. I think like everybody and the great grandma has been talking about this book. Well, it was in some, well, if you like romance anyway. Uh, but I haven't really heard that much to talk about her other books. And like I looked in the beginning, and it doesn't really say anything about her other books here. So I'm thinking maybe this is her first traditionally published books, and the other are indie books. Because often when that happens, it kind of like they don't really reference her other books in the book. So I suppose that might be it. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, personally I'm definitely gonna check out Farrell Sean's other books. And yeah, and also the rest of the series. I highly recommend this book. And yes, as I said, it has lots of plot points, so in case you're one of those people who not sure if you like romance or haven't really read that much pure romance books, yeah, I would say this is an adult romance, but it's not just romance plotline. There's also lots of different plot lines. So I would say that it's perfectly a good place to start your romance journey, or if you want to read a romance, check this one out because it's not like too mushy, bushy, cheesy. It's done so well, and yeah, definitely recommend getting this book from a library, from a friend, on Kindle, wherever you get books. Read it, check it out. So good. And yeah, I hope you have a nice weekend. I'll see you later. Bye.